How's it going?
Something you may be interested in.
The day of the music day.
Buddy Holly's last show.
This is the rarest concert poster there is. What happened was that this night they did the show. The worst winter in like decades. A winter dance party, Buddy Holly and the Crickets, the Big Bopper, Richie Valens. This is the Holy Grail.
Rick shares more details about the item. Let's see what happened next.
The Surf Ballroom was not even on the original tour. It was later added by the tour company. Buddy Holly's drummer had to quit the tour because he got frostbite on his feet. Went to charter a small plane to fly to the next city. Just a minute or two after takeoff, plane crashed. No one survived.
Rick asked owner about its legitimacy and also asked some questions about the item.
Is this thing real? So many fakes and things like that.
What I understand, the high school put the show together. One of the kids' uncles owned a printing shop, and they had days to whip the posters together, so they made, from what I've heard, about 150 of them.
If this is the only version of this poster, it's going to make it so much harder to prove that it's real. I mean, where did you get it?
My family owns an auction house. A gentleman brought it to us that he had bought it from the lady that was at the show. We sent it down to a major auction house. They authenticated it. As far as we know, there's only one of these.
Rick asked for an offer. Let's see what happened next.
And how much do you want?
30,000.
So let me have a friend come down, have him look at this thing, and if it's the real deal, we'll talk money.
Rick calls an expert for better advice.
Buddy Holly and the Crickets are part of the first generation of rock. How the posters look in those days, it would be a blank at the top, and that would overprint with the name of the ballroom and the date that they were playing. They were all printed by one poster company and then overprinted for all the stops. Those posters are highly sought after.
After careful checking, expert gives a shocking statement on it.
Definitive that there never was any poster made for that date. They've never seen one.
This is a legitimate poster for the Surf Ballroom for February 2nd, 1959 for Buddy Holly.
Never a poster.
Is it worth anything?
Too many poster companies have this exact image, and
there's no money here.
Unfortunately, no deal was made. Let's move to next deal.
I'm here to sell this book.
The Art of Animation by Bob Thomas.
It's a rare book. I've never seen a Walt Disney signature like that. It's huge, and I think it's in good condition.
In this episode, a man brings signed copy of the Art of Animation book to pawn shop. Let's see what happened next.
Walt Disney. He did so many neat things with animation. He designed the multi-plane camera. You have your character right here. The background's got to move a little bit, but not as much as the other one. So he created a camera where there's all these different planes in it. It's a really arduous process.
These book contains sign of Disney team of animator, which increase its worth.
Looks like we have all their autographs here. That makes it really cool. 9 old men. Animators from like the beginning that worked on the shorts for the movies and eventually like Snow White, best of the best in Hollywood.
After lots of discussion, Rick asked owner how much he looking to get out of it.
How much money you want?
$16,000.
It's not that I don't trust you, it's just I don't trust you because I don't trust anybody. Let me have someone check out the autographs, make sure all legit.
Owner wants 16 grand for it, but Rick is not sure about its exact worth. So he decides to call an expert for better advice.
Wow, okay.
I don't think anyone would fake them.
Right. The first thing I do want to look at is the ink. You see him on kind of a different plane here. And then the last name. I love how he does this last name here, and this always kind of just reminds me of, Mickey Mouse a little bit. This one I'm a little stumped on. I know the ink's live, though. One thing I always look at first here is the W. When he starts off as W's. Well, this book is what, late 50s. Fiber tip marker, it's possible in that range. I don't think it's fiber tip marker. It's almost like a paint. He always included kind of a paraph at the end. This example perfectly illustrates it.
Rick is still confused about the item legitimacy, so he asked expert about it, and also asked to evaluate its worth.
It's real.
Absolutely no doubt about it. Live ink, beautiful signature. It's actually one of the nicer Disney autographs I've ever seen before.
What do you think it's worth?
It's not rare. Is everybody going to know who these guys are? You're looking at something in the $6,000 range. Cool
Thanks,
piece.
man.
Yeah, thanks for calling me down.
Let me just call my book person.
Rick calls another expert to evaluate its worth.
Hi.
Hey, what's up? And I know you never do this over the phone.
This is a book that on its own isn't really that valuable or desirable. Condition here is not great.
So what do you think of the book? It says all the signatures are legit.
This is really more about the signatures. I would expect to see it from anywhere from 6,000 to 7,500.
Okay. All right, bye-bye.
Rick started negotiation with the owner.
I'd give you $4,500 for it.
I just feel like I could get more, like $7,500, like Rebecca said.
47.
It's just been in the family for so long. I mean,
if you change your mind, come back and see me.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, no deal was made. Let's move to next deal.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, good. I have this to offer you.
Guess this is a really early one.
The earliest sticker-sealed Super Mario Brothers Nintendo game.
A man brings Super Mario Bros. Nintendo game to pawn shop. Let's see what happened next.
An incredibly high grade.
Mind if I take a look?
Absolutely.
Sticker stilled version, which I know these are pretty rare.
Rick asks how much he's looking to get out of it.
All right. How much do you want for it?
I would sell it for $1 million.
$1 million.
Yep.
Owner wants $1 million for it. Then Rick calls an expert for better advice. Let's see where this deal will end.
He wants $1 million, which I think is insane.
Probably the most significant piece of video game history. So we don't know the exact number of copies that were printed, and what we're estimating is somewhere around the 10,000. And how many of those survive sealed? One, as far as we know. What makes this special, first you're gonna see this sticker. So it's from the test market. Seeing this in this condition, it's a complete anomaly. High risk, high reward. I know firm offers that turn down at $300,000.
Expert estimates it's worth around $3,000 for it, but owner wants $1 million. Let's see where this deal will end.
At first, I thought you were crazy. Realistically, what do you want for it?
I'm asking $1 million.
I'm not going to get into it with this kind of figures to start with. So, learned a lot, and
It's good to meet you.
Unfortunately, no deal was made. Let's move forward to next deal.
I got something here I think you might be interested in. They're fossils.
Do you know what a fossil is?
A watch.
A man brings oldest plant and spider fossils to pawn shop. Let's see what happened next.
They're around 290 million years old, and I've got 5 plant fossils and 1 spider fossil. They're from the Maison Creek deposit. These are oldest ferns, actually mutated and split into 2 tips. From Illinois, most famous fossil deposits in the world. The spider is one of the first insects that were ever around.
Rick shares more details about it, and he also asks some leading questions to owner about it.
I think these fossils look awesome. Fossils are basically plants and animals that have been preserved in stone. When you found these things, you had to split them open yourself?
Yeah, with a hammer, just very carefully.
I have no way to authenticate if they came from Maison Creek or if they're even real.
Rick asks how much he's looking to get out of it.
How much did you want for them?
Around $1,200 for the entire collection.
I just don't know enough about these. It's not that I don't trust you, it's just that I don't trust anybody. Let me call someone, get him down here, we'll get everything figured out.
Rick calls an expert for better advice.
Whoa, what do you
This
have
is
here?
it.
Where did you collect them?
From the Maison Creek Formation in Illinois.
Different areas?
Same area.
Very interesting. 300 million year old spider. Collectors all over the world love to find these. These are some of the nicer ones that I've seen. This one appears to have broken and been repaired. Absolutely real. They're carbon impressions of organisms that lived on planet Earth 300 million years ago.
Thanks, Scott, I really appreciate it. So
Expert confirms that this fossil is real, so the negotiation started.
how much did you want for these things?
For the quality, for the size, I did want $1,200.
I'll give you $800.
At least $600, at least.
I'll go $1,000, I can't go no more.
I can't let them go for $1,000, I'm sorry.
I'll go 11.
Deal.
And finally, the deal ends on $1,100. That was a good deal. Let's move to next deal.
Got a family heirloom. It's a Kunzite.
You sure it's just not a fancy piece of glass?
In this episode, a man brings rare Kunzite to pawn shop.
I come to see the guys pawn shop quite often. I'm gonna get 15 grand out of Rick.
All right, do you know anything about it?
An evening stone or something?
They're really rare.
More money?
Kunzite can actually fade in sunlight. I'm gonna have Jeff, my gemologist, check it out.
Rick brings Kunzite to expert for its authenticity. Let's see what happened next.
What's up, man?
Davey says this is Kunzite.
Well, that'd be cool. Let's do some tests. We're gonna find out if you're lying. It measures the way light goes through the stone. And as I can see through here, it has the right refractive index to be Kunzite. Stones have clarity characteristics which can help identify them. Most likely there's gonna be air bubbles. It is a natural Kunzite.
I told you it was real. So far, good news, right?
Yeah.
Something of this nature, with this size, probably estimate $30 to $50 a carat.
Okay, how many carats does it weigh?
323.8 carats.
Expert confirms that this is the real Kunzite, so the negotiation begins.
It's real.
I feel it's worth 15 grand. It's big. It deserves big money.
I don't need one, okay? I mean, just plain and simple. It's gonna sit for a long time. I'll give you 5 grand. I'll give you 6 grand.
7,500.
6 grand.
65? Meet in the middle, please.
All right, 65.
All right.
Call from a guy with an Amphicar. I have secretly always wanted one of these things.
Rick goes to downtown with expert to check out the Amphicar that he always wanted.
How's it going?
1964. Amphicar, huh?
So I'm grabbing Bill, and I'm checking it out. This is nerd heaven right here.
Yeah, that's for sure is a car only a mother could love.
Owner wants to sell this car to support his daughter's education, and he wants 48 grand for it.
Due to my obligations of getting my daughter an education, I'm required to sell the car. I'm looking to get $48,000 for the car.
Expert shares more details about this car. Let's see what happened next.
They're cool cars, man. These were actually advertised back in the day as the sports car that floats.
You know what? There's something about it I absolutely love.
Going to build 25,000 of them. They ceased production after 3,800. In fact, it couldn't support itself. They were made in Berlin, German parts, with an English motor on the thing.
Rick asked how much he's looking to get out of it.
There's a massive risk factor, and it's tying money up for a long time. I mean, what is your best price on it?
$45,000 loan.
Will you do 42?
It's a fair price. I just can't do 42 right now. Thank you.
Rick offers him $42,000, but he refuses it. So no deal was made. Let's move to the next deal. In this episode, a man brings rarest coin to pawn shop. Let's see what happened next.
Got a coin I'd like to sell.
This is really intriguing.
Extremely rare piece.
Okay. An 1867 shield nickel.
Owner shares more details about the coin.
I want to sell this coin. We can use the money and invest it in other things. Stop the production of this coin because the coin has stars and bars on it. North didn't like the fact that stars and bars signify the Confederacy. There's only 25 made.
That's pretty amazing. There was a polished blank coin that was put into the minting machine. They made sure it was a perfect coin. It could be worth some serious money.
Rick is not sure about its exact worth, so he asks owner for an offer.
So how much are we looking to get out of it?
90,000.
You mind if I have someone take a look at it? He'll help us figure out a price. I'll be right back.
Thanks.
Owner wants 90 grand for it, so Rick calls an expert for better advice.
Significantly rarer than similar ones from 1867 without rays. So this is a very busy design because it has rays.
So what do you think it's worth?
From about 63,000 to 80,000.
Good knowledge, thanks.
And the negotiation started.
What's your best price on it?
I told you 90,000.
It's a $63,000 coin.
Probably the nicest one around.
Recently sold for 63 at auction. I'm looking at like 50 grand.
I couldn't take that. Bottom line, 80,000.
That's not going to happen. Sorry, we're not going to be able to make a deal. We'll have a nice day, man.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Unfortunately, no deal was made. Let's move to the next deal.
What's going on, guys?
Sell a book. What kind of book is it?
It's an annual registry of 1776.
In this episode, a man brings one of the oldest record book, which is 1776 annual register, and he wants to sell them in a pawn shop. Let's see what happened next.
I'm looking to sell my book, take my lady out, get her drunk, and maybe she'll marry me.
Where did you get it?
That was my grandfather's.
Generally, you don't restore old books, just so you know, unless it's like absolutely necessary. Looking through it, it's most likely pro-English.
Without any further delay, Rick directly asked owner for an offer.
How much were you looking to get out of it?
$2 grand.
Could be some serious money. Do me a favor before you leave. What's that? Call Rebecca.
All right, bye.
Love you too.
Owner wants $2 grand for it. So Rick prefers to call in book expert to authenticate it.
One thing that's cool, there are descriptions of battles in here, including major defeat of Washington in New York. Not only history, politics, anything that people were talking about was put in this magazine.
What do we have here?
But only rebind, recent rebind. It will affect the value of the book.
That's your opinion.
She knows.
I'm gonna give you my opinion. That's what you're gonna get. And there's a tape repair, literally tape, which, not good. So, 3,000.
All right, you're the best.
Thank you.
Take care.
Expert estimates it's worth around $3,000, so the negotiation started.
What's your absolutely best price on it?
Start at the $2 grand, and I will not be bartered with.
Let me give you $1,500.
Let's go 16.
All right, I'll go $1,600.
Awesome.
And finally, the deal ends on $1,600. That was a good deal. Let's move to the next deal. In this episode, a man brings limited edition book to pawn shop.
I have an H.R. Giger limited edition book. It was a little crazy. That also has a lithograph signed and numbered from Aliens 3.
H.R. Giger was the man when it came to creating all things creepy in the second half of the 20th century. And I know there's collectors out there that would love to get their hands on something like that.
His first works were ink drawings and oil paintings, and then he discovered airbrush, which was what he's really known for.
Corey asks for an offer and then calls expert for better advice.
And how much are you looking to get?
I'd like to see 600.
The signature is what makes it really unique. I'd like to have a buddy of mine come down and check it out.
This is just someone that just wanted to get it over with as quickly as possible. Not, again, ultra rare. 349 of them out there still. But with that said, guy's no longer living. He's really highly collectible for Aliens fans. His first name, really choppy, up and down. There's absolutely no question in my mind. Real signature here, Corey.
What do you think it might be worth?
I would put this value right at about $1,200.
Okay.
There's no doubt about it. People are going to want that.
Expert estimates it's worth around $1,200. Then the negotiation started.
I'm going to go around $400.
That's a third of the 1,200. How about, I'd like to think about 9.
$500. That's the most I can. At the end of the day, I'm only making a few $100. And
Go with the 600.
$500.
Yeah, sure.
And finally, the deal ends on $500. That was a good deal. Let's move to next deal.
This is a charcoal drawing by Edward Hopper.
Okay.
You're looking kind of suspicious.
Someone walks into my store and says they have an Edward Hopper. It's more or less the equivalent of saying, well, I got myself a Renoir. To the right time frame, it definitely looks like his style, but it's not signed.
That's correct.
How much were you looking to get out of it?
Well, I had it appraised in New York at $100,000.
Rick decides to call an expert to get its exact worth.
He doesn't, overemphasize color. It's all about shadow and form, and it looks correct. If everything you say about this piece is true, you're not talking about $100,000 art, about potentially $1 million artwork. I think it looks pretty good. It's a gamble. But without the signature and without any more to go on, I wouldn't feel comfortable saying it's worth $1 million.
I'm not going to make an offer if I can't. I have to resell it, and when I resell it, it's my reputation on the line.
I appreciate you taking the time to take a look at it.
I hate to see it leave my shop.
Thanks a lot.
Rick refuses the deal due to his reputation, so no deal was made. Let's move to next deal. In this episode, a man brings World War II bomb fins to pawn shop. Let's see what happened next.
There are a couple of bomb fins, probably from World War II or something. I'm not sure exactly what they're worth. I will take anything at this point as long as they're out of my backyard.
Corey asks some questions to owner about it.
So where'd you get these, man?
Well, they were kind of sitting in my dad's backyard and ended up getting them at my house somehow.
It looked like the tail end of a bomb or something. These are just like the fins that would help guide it to where it needed to be. How much does it weigh?
50, 60 pounds.
Did you paint that one?
No. That came as is.
Yeah, I've never had these come in before.
Corey calls Rick an expert to help him out.
These are actually conical fins off low-drag general-purpose bombs. So before World War II, we would just drop the bombs out. In 2003 in Iraq, this is what we were using. Obviously, the accuracy is in there, but it's just so much cheaper. These conical fins got put in use from Vietnam on. You strap this onto the tail section of a bomb, and it provides a predictable glide path for the bomb. The laser-guided bombs, you can't actually drop through clouds. Looks like it's strapped to about a Mark 84, which is a 2,000-pound bomb. We'll fly in, we'll identify a target, we roll in, and kind of come in on a dive to improve accuracy, and then we'll release the bomb and then come off. About 11 feet of concrete that can go through.
Wow.
Expert shares lots of valuable information about the item, but Rick still have one question to ask: that this item is legal or illegal to own.
It's not illegal to own these things or anything, is it?
No, they are out there, not very common.
Rick asks Expert to evaluate its worth.
So what are they worth?
Commercial value, higher value. The smaller one, just because it's got more uses. $500-600 in that range.
Okay. So let's talk money.
We're in the $1,200 range.
Maybe like $400 for them, man.
No.
$7.
No.
No.
$400 or nothing.
$400 then.